guys, it's Hannah with Meadow Blossom Goods back again. So we started the video off with a little bit of a time lapse of mixing up our starch, adding our indigo, all of which we've gone over in other videos. And we haven't really delved into much ironing yet, so I was going to kind of take a look at that as I'm working through these caps that I have here from a historic site that I'm working with right now. And ironing, as we know, can be really complicated. There are tons and tons of different tools out there. There's fluting irons, there's pleating irons, there's just the possibilities are endless. And the reality is that most of us don't have a lot of that stuff just laying around in our house. That doesn't mean that you can't do some awesome historical stuff. So I'm here in my kitchen, which is kind of messy today. I was outside all day. I have my trusty old regular iron, and what I found is something that is more easily accessible for people to use is just a standard sleeve board. These work really nice for the smaller little detailed things. And obviously a regular ironing board will work too, but since we're working with caps, I was gonna go with my handy dandy little sleeve board here. And so I really like the 18th century method for working with muslins, lawns, that type of thing. And that method has you go through your basic washing, your basic starching, it adds bluing in each of those steps. But the key to these is that they don't wait for it to dry completely, sprinkle it, and then iron. They just wait for it to be like mostly dry, and then they go right ahead and iron. And I found that this really works really well, and you get a really awesome crisp finish, totally wrinkle-free end results. And it works really well for those of you who are like me, who have like the patience of a squirrel and you just want to get it done like now. So this helps you kind of push through that a little bit because you can iron it before it's even dry, and the results are really awesome. So I have both of the caps laying in like earthenware bowls here, just regular old salt glazed stoneware, and I'm just gonna go ahead and iron. They're actually pretty wet, but that doesn't really matter all that much. The key thing is when you're working with your iron, you want to make sure that it's clean, because if you have nasty stuff on the back of your iron, it's gonna pick up the starch, and and then it will just get messy and disgusting. The other thing is historically they don't have steam irons. So if you are ironing something that's already wet or that you've sprinkled or something like that, turn the steam feature off of your iron, because you're going to be having plenty of steam just from the moisture that's already in the garment, whether you're ironing it when it's partially dry or whether you are ironing it after you've sprinkled and kind of let it rest and all that kind of stuff. Whichever method, you're going to want to turn the steam off on your modern iron. So these are kind of mid-19th century caps, so you have little tails and such here. And I think that the tails are probably the easiest thing to start with. I'm going to turn my sleeve board around so I can use the wide end. And your iron is probably going to make a lot of like nice hissing noises when it hits that wet fabric. Keep the iron moving. And you can kind of check to see how it is finishing. And it should be, ouch, that's hot. Should be pretty much dry after you pass the iron over the top of it, which is kind of the general idea. and see we're already getting, see how like crisp and nice that is already, just from the starch and the ironing it. Well, it's a little damp. These are really old caps that belong to this site. They probably should be replaced at some point. So they're a little bit fragile, but that's all right. We're just kind of going to work with it. There. Nice, crisp, beautiful. So again, this is Hannah with Meadow Blossom Goods, and thanks for tuning in to check out what we've got going on today with our ironing. You guys have a wonderful day. It is a beautiful one.